Hey guys, welcome to the final episode of Waking Up by Sam Harris with my bro Grant. It's pretty sick that actually this is the first full book discussion that we've finished on this podcast. So congrats, bro, we did it. This is it, we did it. And the second one is about to be completed. That's with my bro Calvis on the book Think and Grow Rich. So yeah guys, stick around. It's getting really fun. Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Looks Like On Podcast. This time we're in person.
Yep.
It's happening in the flesh.
Feels weird.
Yeah. So what were your overall feelings on chapter 5?
I thought it was good. It was interesting, but I was expecting it to more kind of like wrap up meditation itself. I feel like for a book titled basically around meditation, it didn't actually touch on meditation that much. So I was kind of expecting it to summarize like why meditation is good, like how you can apply it. Didn't really do that. I still found the contents of the last chapter interesting, but I think the book in general, for a book based on meditation, it didn't really. It was about meditation, but it was like all like kind of tangential. It wasn't like directly like diving into exactly like meditation. I found
that's true. I feel like I heard the audiobook and it felt like in chapter 5 he spent a lot of time saying how other people were wrong about their ideas or something.
Yeah. He spent a lot of time talking about fake gurus, near-death experiences, and basically why they're bullshit. He did touch on meditation, psychedelic drugs, which I thought was quite interesting. But yeah.
So he mentioned someone, I forget his name right now, but he mentioned someone that he this, I think he's a neuroscientist, he claims to have died and experienced things when his brain was already dead.
Yeah.
And I do agree with Sam Harris that his brain was probably not dead. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but then why is he what is the purpose of bringing up that story?
Yeah, that's what, because I would find like he was talking about like fake guru. It would be like a segue, but it wouldn't be based off of religion. He'd be talking about something else, about fake gurus, and then it would like have a tangential link to something like near-death experiences. I did find that the near-death experiences did eventually link into DMT trips, because apparently those near-death experiences, your brain naturally releases DMT.
Right.
So those near-death experiences are a lot like DMT trips apparently. So then that kind of linked into psychedelics and how you can also almost get into a psychedelic state with meditation, but it's not as intense. So there were links, but I did find that with the Christian neuroscientist and the near-death experience, that was just like a massive tangent. And because Sam Harris is also very atheist, and I felt that was just a way to like bash religion a little bit as well.
Yeah, I still have trouble like finding a good definition for atheist, because like I would think it's just someone who doesn't believe in Christian God, right?
No, not a Christian God. It's any God or any spirituality or any afterlife. An atheist is, in my understanding, is someone who's just like, there is no God of any kind. There's no afterlife. Once you're dead, you're dead. That's an atheist, is my understanding. And then agnostic is more, I'm not sure if I believe, because apparently like a lot of people call themselves atheists because they don't believe in God, but they're actually not 100% atheists, because most people would say like, well actually I don't know, because how can you know, right?
How can you know?
So yeah, people who are very like 100% atheist, it's probably a smaller percentage than people claim to be atheists, because a lot of people would say I'm atheist, but who knows, right? Because it's also a miracle that we got here. It can't be explained really.
Yeah, so I'm still confused about what atheist even is. I'm trying to find a clear definition.
It's just you believe in you don't believe in anything. You don't believe in. You're like, so you know how you and I are saying we don't really believe in God, but who knows, there might be something. That's more agnostic. Whereas some people who have those same opinions might define themselves as an atheist. Whereas an actual proper atheist is like, there's no religion, there's no God, there's no afterlife, there's no heaven, there's nothing. Like once you're dead, you're dead. There's no, that's what I understand a proper atheist is.
So if that's the definition, it sounds like an atheist is someone who claims to know what reality is.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Not claims, or they claim to...
Or to know what it's not?
No, it's not, I guess. Yeah, I suppose either works. Yeah. Yeah.
True. Yeah, like, this chapter felt really hard for me to consume. It felt like eating food that I don't like.
Well,
but for the purpose of the podcast, I was like, let me just.
Why was it so hard?
Because like, spiritual books that I've been reading for the past couple of years is like, it hasn't been about giving opinions on other people's interpretations. Yeah, so that's been a consistent pattern in the books that I've been reading. From different people in different time periods and whatever. Like, so with Sam Harris saying like, oh yeah, like this guy whatever thinks he's so smart, but actually it's quote laughable.
Yeah.
Like he's laughing at people in his book, and I think also because I heard the audiobook, so it's in his own voice, so I can feel his emotion as he's saying that. Like it's really laughable. Like, okay, let me just finish this chapter.
Yeah, but I think that's the idea, right? Is this book is it religion? No, spirituality without religion is the kind of subtitle. So most of the stuff in this realm doesn't come at it with the point of view of Sam Harris. Like he's a neuroscientist and he's an ardent atheist. So when someone has that kind of logical mind, I think they're going to be a lot more closed-minded. Or not closed-minded, they're just very logical and they go based off evidence rather than like a lot of spiritual stuff is more based off like feeling, and I think anyway.
Is this funny that in the meditation chapter you would talk about like the dissolving of the self and all this stuff? So then why is he bashing on people and making himself feel bigger?
Yeah, it does feel like there's some ego involved there, which doesn't completely line up to the dissolving of yourself.
Especially for me, especially in chapter 5. Like chapter 5 was difficult for me to consume because of that, because like, there's just so much ego in it that I'm just wondering, when is his rant gonna end? And it was just like back to back to back. Like, okay, I get like the fake guru ones, like the Tibetan Buddhists that are not following what they preach or eating steak while everyone else like I get, okay, awesome. Like I actually want to know about that. That's cool. Then the other stuff, like the guy with the near-death experience, that he probably just had a DMT trip. Like, yeah, he probably just had a DMT trip. So what's the purpose of Sam Harris telling me that story? Is it just to tell me that guy is wrong? Like he's ignorant?
I think because a lot of spiritual content is quite wishy-washy, and there is some of it is a bit like pulling the wool over people's eyes, and it's kind of bullshit too. So I think with Sam Harris, because he tackled it from a scientific point of view, if he had left it a bit more ambiguous, it's kind of a bit open to interpretation then, which I think a lot of spiritual stuff is. It's so ambiguous and open to interpretation, and then it does bring in like fake gurus and people who have their own agendas. So I can kind of see why he did that, because he's just like cutting through the bullshit, and he's like, you know, from a scientific standpoint, this is bullshit, this is bullshit, this is bullshit, but meditation actually is very beneficial, and it can help you dissolve the sense of self and dissolve the ego, and that's like all science backed, which I think is good, because it will attract a different type of person to spirituality as well, because when it is all wrapped up in that like guru culty stuff, like it just puts some people off. Like it would have put me off a few years ago, and when hearing about that sort of stuff, I'm like, I'm not interested in all that like culty bullshit. Whereas like when it's more tackled from a scientific point of view, I'm more like, oh, okay, there's actual evidence to this, and I can understand why scientifically meditation is good for me now.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many fake gurus out there for sure. Even if you go to like the most spiritual places in India, there's probably more there.
I think that's the number one problem, isn't it? Is like meditation and spirituality is fundamentally good for you, but there are so many fake gurus, there's so much bullshit, that it's like hard to cut through it and know really like how to get to the core of it and make it beneficial for you, rather than beneficial for the person you're following or beneficial for the person who's writing books or your money's going in their pocket. Yeah.
I wonder, like, what is like some advice we can give to listeners, like how to be aware of a fake guru?
Well, I think Sam Harris gave a good description. Well, he didn't give a good description, but he explained why it's so easy for fake gurus to do what they do. And he gave the example of learning to play golf. If you go and learn to play golf, you can learn something from someone who can hit the ball better than you can. Yeah. But there's no way of measuring fake gurus. But I think how to spot a fake guru, people who have ego and they want you to submit to them and they kind of go the extra mile to make you come around to their way of thinking or do what they want, make you do what they want. Yeah. I think a real guru is somebody who's like no pressure and they're like, if you want to learn from me, that's cool. If not, that's also cool. I'm not going to pressure you into anything. Yeah. Whereas a lot of those culty fake gurus will put you through like a series of like weird tests, and they'll have like a very strange relationship with their followers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like a fake guru would, like, if you want to leave the fake guru, I feel like he would say like, okay, yeah, fine, go, leave. But you know, like, when it gets difficult later, like, I can't help you.
Well, they probably wouldn't even be that, like the example of the fake guru is, in this book, that couple wanted to leave because they felt uncomfortable with the practices and they stripped them naked and like beat them up and stuff. So fake gurus, it seems in general are way more forceful, whereas a real guru is just like, if you want to leave, that's fine. Because they're not trying to get something back out of you, whereas fake gurus are usually trying to get something back out of the people who are following them, whether that's getting to sleep with them and their wives or like getting money out of them or power. And,
so like it seems like fake gurus are total narcissists.
100%. Yeah.
And what's creepy is that they study enough spirituality just to convince people that they're legit. Like they actually study the content, but they don't follow it.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because in this day and age, you can't really fake much else. With the internet and records of everything. If you're saying that you're a golf teacher or a swimming teacher or something like that, first of all, you have to display your skills, but secondly, you have to have evidence. You know, there's going to be like videos of you competing, there's going to be information online that you've done something, that you've accomplished something, whereas those fake gurus, like, I think it attracts those sort of people as well because it's such an easy thing to bullshit about.
The guru that he mentioned, I think it was the meditation chapter, Papaji. Supposedly he was someone that like if you're seeking enlightenment from him, then he would suggest like, just stop, because we're not doing anything. I'm not gonna teach you anything. We're just chilling.
Which is probably a lot likely to help than somebody who's telling you to dig holes in their garden and shit like that.
And also like that will repel the people that are not really seeking for real. They'll be like, no, but I want to look for it. Why don't you teach me? It's like, no, and then they'll probably go leave and find a fake guru somewhere.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
So what's the best thing to do? I mean, some people say like there is no guru. Like there's no point in even looking for one.
I wouldn't look for someone.
Because anyways, for what? Like for what purpose?
Yeah, because ultimately you have to go on this journey yourself. Like meeting certain gurus, you can pick bits of information from them and take that with you. But I think when people put all of their faith in one person, how can like what are you going to do? Just follow that person around forever and absorb everything from them? It's not practical, is it? You need to just take bits of what you learn and ultimately do it yourself. Take bits and apply it and try and improve yourself rather than just hoping someone's got all the answers for you and looking for them to essentially fix you.
Yeah. It feels to me like intuition is the real guru, and everybody has access to that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to find a guy in a cave, because if he's legit, he'll just lead you back to intuition anyways.
True. True. Yeah, I think real gurus would like show you how to do it yourself, and then just say, okay, go on your way, rather than trying to trap you there and always like dangling a carrot.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say right now is gonna probably piss some people off from different teams, because I don't know the exact quote of this, but somewhere in the Bible, like Jesus tells his followers, like, you're gonna do greater things than me. Like, why would he say that? And then why would people worship him on a pedestal if he said that?
Don't know. Good question. I mean, I think different personality types as well, right? Like some people would take that as inspiration, but other people are more easily led and they're looking to be led as well.
Yeah. And also I feel like the Bible is a book that's somebody has mixed actual wisdom with straight up lies. Like somebody has edited the content. Also, it's been translated how many times? We don't know like when it's been like modified and stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like someone has, like, the best way to lie is to mix it with truth.
100%.
So I feel like somebody has kept some like core like spiritual values and then just added just straight up lies into it.
Yeah, well, it's been twisted and manipulated over the thousands of years it's been almost weaponized by the church and certain powerful
it feels like that.
People and institutes to get to control the masses. So yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like I read somewhere that like before Christianity became mainstream in Rome, the popes were just like homeless monks. But then after
now the pope's like dripping in gold and
they have their own country.
He's got, driving around in limousines.
Yeah, it's like something like that doesn't match the pattern. You see, like that doesn't match it at all.
No.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm glad I read the book.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've been meditating
good.
more after reading that book, for sure.
How does it, or about how many minutes do you meditate?
So I was doing 10 minutes a day, now I do 15 minutes a day. Yeah. How
does your mind feel when you're doing it?
It depends on the day. Like sometimes it's like more cluttered and I find like I'm wanting it to end and I'm feeling like I'm like planning my day and getting distracted. But other days it feels like 15 minutes just goes by like that and it feels really nice.
Oh, cool.
I can get into a state where I'm still having thoughts, but I can maybe for like a couple of seconds just have more of a clear mind. It's definitely beneficial. And even then, like, because I think it's easy to get caught up in the idea of like, I shouldn't be having any thoughts, and then be like, fuck, I keep having thoughts, and then it's like, and you get frustrated.
Yeah.
So even when I'm having days where I'm like thinking too much, I still benefit from doing the meditation because I tend to figure the thoughts out a lot more than when I'm just sitting there and breathing than I would if I'm just kind of like going around getting distracted and letting these thoughts roam through my head anyway. Yeah.
I feel like meditation is like is a helpful way to be present because you literally block everything, like where you block all the distractions out.
Yeah.
And you're just like in the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So now I would like to learn how to do that with my eyes open. How to just be in the moment.
Yeah.
With your eyes open.
Yeah, for sure.
Or some people will stare at the wall.
Yeah.
They'll just stare at with their eyes open, just stare at the wall for whatever.
Yeah, there's all different types of meditation. I think that's the thing is just experiment and see what works for you.
Somebody might say like maybe we're already meditating.
I don't know. Most people have so much stress and anxiety, I'd say we're not already meditating.
Right. And somebody might say all the stress is happening within your meditation.
Why would they say that?
Because maybe meditation is just consciousness.
Maybe. I feel like you just get lost in a load of what if and a load of bullshit then rather than just doing meditation.
Find out, yeah. Find out. Yeah, just like how they say, like happiness is in the present. It's like, okay, so let's find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's find out.
Definitely.
Let's decrease our consumption of our favorite short-term pleasures and just see what happens as an experiment.
Yeah.
It's possible your happiness baseline increases.
Definitely. I think, just reducing, because it's hard to be in the present quite often, especially with all the distractions. So getting rid of some distractions, having less technological devices, and having less social media is definitely helpful for being in the present.
And I feel like this topic now is like self-awareness, because sometimes we get distracted and we don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So how do we know if we are being taken out of the moment?
I think you need to continually, well, not all the time, but get into the habit of reminding yourself, because it's so easy just to run away with your thoughts and think about stuff that happened in the past and think about stuff that's potentially going to happen in the future. You need to just remind yourself. It's something I've been trying to do, but it's hard. Just taking a step back and being like, today's a good day, and like thinking about what you appreciate and what you're grateful for. Try and get into the practice of doing that, but when I do it, it's just kind of like sporadically when it pops into my head. I guess maybe should try and have it on a more regular schedule. I don't know.
Something really helpful for me, and I think this is something that people with addictions learn, is like the addiction, whatever it is, it feels like something that you need to have to feel okay. And like when that search begins for your thing, you feel like you're missing something. So like if you can catch yourself as early as possible, as you start searching for that thing, like the guys in Lord of the Rings, like, my precious.
Yeah.
As soon as you start, like, oh wait, just chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Definitely.
And luckily for me, I've felt that feeling of like that I need that specific thing to be happy. So when that urge appears, then that's like my signal of like, oh, pull back. It's like an instant reminder.
Yeah.
And every time it gets faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, like, after you experience that with your addiction, whatever it is, you can apply it to anything in your day-to-day, where you start to feel like I need that coffee to feel good.
Yeah.
Or I need to check my Facebook to feel good right now.
Right. And so that's the more subconscious stuff, where you'll just reach for your phone or you'll go and eat a certain thing. But we quite often will actually think about things like, for example, when I do this or when I achieve that, then I'll be happy. Which is also related, I think.
The one that I'm working on right now is like, I need to scratch my head right now, because like for some reason, right, like it's like a habit of like, if I just do this, I feel more comfortable. Maybe I feel like nervous or anxiety. Like I need to fucking scratch my head. Like, what if I don't? So that one is tough for me right now. I'm just like, damn it.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things. You don't want to be too hard on yourself either, because it kind of defeats the purpose, right? You're trying to improve. You're trying to stop these impulses. You're trying to recognize that you're already happy. You don't need to be doing this or doing that. But if you're too hard on yourself, like, fuck, why do I keep doing that? You just like undoing it all.
It should be fun. It should be a fun game to play. Yeah. It should be, if you're being too serious and you're still seeking, it should be a fun game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an experiment, I guess.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
It would be cool to have a conversation 1 year from now and see like what other insights we've gotten.
Definitely.
Plus now, like you're meeting more spiritual people and stuff like that. Whatever spiritual, I don't like that word spiritual.
It's hard to define, isn't it?
Maybe just more self-aware people.
Yeah, I think people who are just trying to improve themselves. Is a good way to look at it, because I still think spirituality has those connotations of like hippie, fake guru kind of stuff.
Yeah, like we're not talking about like levitation or like telekinesis. It's like just straight up self-awareness.
Exactly. Just trying to be a better human, and just taking time to evaluate yourself. And I heard in a video just this morning too, that guy Michael Singer, the
older American guy that I sent you a video of talking about like your
Oh
memory.
yeah.
He was talking about like so like let's say like with meditation, right? You become aware of your thoughts, and that's kind of like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
It's not the root of it, right? It's just like the tip. It's just the I'll think about it like a smell, but you don't see where the smell's coming from yet. You're just smelling the aroma. I guess like once with your mind, once you like get through like your thoughts, you start to see exactly where they come from. And I guess like directly, maybe a way that makes sense is like your nervous system. Like you like you see exactly when the thing manifests in your mind.
Yeah.
And you start catching it. But the thing is like once you get to that nervous system phase and you see where it comes from, it's fucking painful. Because it's usually
that's the hardest thing to do, isn't it? Yeah, they're like different layers. So you recognize that you're feeling a certain way, and then if you start to have some self-reflection, you can kind of think, oh, I'm feeling this way because of that. And then it's going even further and saying, but where did that come from? How do I fix it? It's kind of so much harder to get down to the core of it. So I feel like just with some basic reflection, you can get to the first layer where you recognize, oh, I'm feeling this way. Maybe I should try and change it. But then it is through a lot of hard work.
It's like you're sinking into like the actual root of the issue.
Yeah.
And it's usually childhood stuff.
Oh, it's so crazy how, let's say the average person lives for 70, 80 years. Those, 16, let's say, years of your life, the first 16 years, have such an impact on how you're going to be as an adult. It's crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy.
Even thinking, I'm going to say because I'm sure my grandma won't do this, but like even thinking about my own grandma, like I think she's like about 80 right now. And one of the things she said to me last year was that when you're old, you become useless and no one cares about you. So that means that there's still a part of her that wants to be cared for.
I guess so. Yeah.
There's still a part of her that wants some kind of validation, even as an elderly person.
Yeah. So I think feeling useless, I think you still need to have, you always need to have purpose and something that drives you. But saying that no one cares about you, I suppose in some aspects it's kind of nice, because when you're young, you're so concerned about the opinions of other people. Whereas it's kind of nice when you get older and you realise everyone's so busy living their own lives that all the stuff I thought, like when I was young, I bet they're thinking this about me, I bet this, whereas you actually realise everyone's so busy living their own lives that no one cares about me, and it's actually quite comforting.
Yeah. Like when my grandma told me that thing about that no one cares about her anymore, like 'cause, like she feels like that. Like I had already done a lot of like my own inner work and like inner child healing and stuff. So then I recognized that like, damn, that's an inner child wound that my grandma has.
Yeah. I think like everyone has trauma. It's a scale though,
Yeah, right.
So people who had really tough childhoods obviously have a lot more trauma, but everyone is fucked up somehow.
Yeah.
No one has a completely perfect childhood. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about that almost every interaction you have with people, especially when they're negative, before you start to like delve into self-improvement or this kind of stuff, you just think he's a prick, and then you might like match his energy. Like if he's been a dick to me, I'm gonna be a dick to him. Then you start to think, once you like look into it a bit more, like, oh, it's probably like quite an unhappy guy who's behaving like that because probably had trauma or some shit.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier for you to not, obviously we're still humans, so sometimes you like flip out on shit, but it makes it easier to
That's true.
be compassionate and not always react
like
in a negative way.
That's his problem.
Yeah.
And it's also appreciated when we fuck up and then someone realizes that wasn't my problem. Thanks for that. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do get triggered sometimes, and then this stuff happens.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? It's like you could get triggered and just not self-reflect, and you could just be someone who just like something bad happens to you and you punch a wall, or hopefully you start to self-reflect, like, why did I react in such like a crazy way?
Yeah, hopefully that happens.
To that, hopefully that happens, and then you can start to.
But staying victim is so easy.
Yeah.
And I think even fun for our minds, like our mind, like something in our mind enjoys that victim mentality until you make
because you have an answer. I think it's because you have an answer. If something annoys you, and then you just react, you have an answer of like, well, he did this and he said that, and that justifies my reaction. Everything makes sense.
Like I'm right, that person's wrong.
Exactly. Whereas if you have to take a step back and you think, oh, why did I react in such a bad way? And then, is that because this happened and I have this experience and this trauma? That's like you don't have the answers and you don't know how to fix it. You have to do a lot of work to fix it.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary. Whereas just being like, no, fuck you, I'm right, he's wrong, and it all makes sense in my mind. It's just so much easier to some extent.
Now that we're talking about that, I feel like I don't know how it is in the UK, but in the US, people will experience these like challenging emotions, but then instead of digging, we just go numb. We take something to just not feel.
Yeah.
Until the limit is reached, and then you just burst. Yeah,
I mean I think that's the same for most Western nations. Maybe not as extreme in the UK as it is in the US, because you guys just get prescribed opioids for like nothing, and there's loads and all that kind of shit. Maybe opioids is different. That's more like physical health. But yeah, I mean, the amount of people who are on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication, or they self-medicate with just drinking and stuff like that. It's massive in the UK as well.
You know, Craig Ferguson, Scottish like talk show host. He said that like I think before he was famous, he had decided he was gonna kill himself, like jump off a bridge or something.
Damn.
And before he did it, some guy drove by and said, "Hey, you want to get a drink?"
Wow.
And then he went with him to the pub and had some beer, and then he didn't kill himself. But then he became an alcoholic.
Oh my god!
So later he had to figure out like this thing saved my life, but now it's hurting me. I have to figure out how.
So it's like instead of immediately killing himself, he just did it slowly through alcoholism.
Yeah.
So.
Luckily now he's sober. Yeah, and he's the guy actually that he didn't want to take the opiates because he knew he's an addict. But he had some like jaw surgery where he had to take the opiates, and when he took them, he had beer cravings.
Damn.
After many years.
Wow.
He said like everything feels good and I just want a beer. He's supposed to be sober.
He was like so chilled out. He's like, I could drink a beer right now.
Damn. Yeah. It feels kind of like it's like like everything is good, but it could be better.
Yeah, I think we're wired like that as humans as well. It's only once you kind of understand that you shouldn't continually crave more. You should be happy with what you got. But as humans, we're wired
it's like a survival mechanism, right?
It must be.
Yeah.
Because when we were hunter-gatherers, we didn't have enough, and if you came across an abundance of food, you'd take it all, and
that makes sense.
You'd eat it all at once. So it has to be related to that somehow.
Dang. So it means like self-development is kind of like evolution. Like you're evolving out of the caveman human.
Yeah.
Into whatever the next thing is.
It's like we're trying to evolve, because our environment, we're still like the same as we were 300,000 years ago, but our environment has changed so much.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to catch up. So it's almost like we're quickly trying to evolve ourselves through all this stuff to cope with modern day world, which we're just not naturally wired for.
Yeah. And what's cool, it feels like there's some other apes and monkeys and stuff that they have similar like social norms to humans. Like the leader, like if you're friends with the leader of the tribe, you get more access to food. So it's beneficial for you to befriend the leader, like the alpha.
Yeah.
And
it's
like
The Office.
It's
just like people kissing the manager's ass to get more money. Yeah.
Exactly. So now it seems like maybe we're unwiring not even things that are just from the human species, even before humans.
Yeah, I mean, Homo sapiens is the same as you and me have been around for 300,000 years, but we've been evolving millions of years before that, and they were still ape-like hominids. So it's probably millions of years of evolution. Yeah.
And we can choose. It's like now as humans, our evolution, we can choose to evolve or not.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because there's also theories about generational trauma. So if you're able to heal some of your trauma, you're less likely to pass it down.
Exactly.
So it's almost like you are evolving and you're passing those evolved genes on when you have children.
Have you heard of epigenetics?
I've heard of the word. I'm not sure what it is though.
If I'm not wrong, it's something like if you learn something in your lifetime, that can be passed on to your kids via like your genes, and it'll be in their DNA.
What, so like a skill, like playing guitar or something? You mean?
Then maybe like let's say like you play guitar,
Yeah.
and maybe they get like a music skill.
Wow, interesting. Wow.
So then that would mean like if you've healed and stuff in your life, you can pass that on. You can pass that ability to heal to your kid.
Yeah.
I would guess so.
Yeah.
When I think about that, like, so neither of my parents are teachers, but my brother and I are both teachers, and my mom's dad is a teacher.
Oh wow.
And he learned that skill before I was born, so he passed it on, and before my mom too, so he passed it on to my mom.
Yeah.
And it's like recessive, right? So it's like even like your hair, like your parents might not give you their hair, but you might get your grandparents.
Yeah. So I wonder then, when it comes to something like teaching or playing guitar, it's probably not like the actual skill that's passed down, but certain traits that would make you more attracted to that, like empathy and sharing knowledge. Yeah.
I think my grandpa taught math, which I don't teach math.
No.
I'll teach other stuff.
Yeah.
It's just cool to see like how your family lines like blend into you.
Yeah.
Like when I see my brother now, I feel like me and him have the same ingredients but different proportions. Because I see like we're so similar, but also different. Like he has more of something than I have of something else.
Yeah.
It's like we're the same Starbucks drink but different quantities of ingredients. That's how it feels like.
Yeah.
So you're another version of me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially with the big brother younger brother dynamic, because I have a younger brother as well. And I remember someone saying to me, he's a friend I had at university, and he studied philosophy, and he was a younger brother, and he said that he just observed his older brother growing up and then like put his own twist on it, and that was the first time I'd heard of something like that, and I thought, oh no way, that's interesting, because people say my brother and I are like quite similar too, but obviously like we're different to each other. And I thought, I wonder how true that is as well, because the younger sibling tends to, like, I remember my little brother just like copying everything I did when I was a kid as well. Yeah.
So my brother and I are pretty different, and like I like blue, he likes red. I like jazz, he likes classical.
Yeah.
I'm pretty chill. He's more like perfectionist type of personality. But we both like music a lot, and we both like working with kids. So there are some similarities.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool, man. I don't know. Any final thoughts?
This was good. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We should definitely do another book.
Yeah.
Something different, because I think this was good, but I found like it didn't concentrate on the topic as much, so quite a lot of the discussions we were having on the different episodes were kind of similar, like fake gurus popped up a lot. It'd be cool to discuss a book where we know exactly kind of it's definitely going to be about the topic, what it says on the tin.
Like in my own personal life, I don't worry too much about fake gurus, because I feel like fake gurus have a specific pattern, and then a real guru has just a different pattern. So then if someone is saying some fake guru stuff, I just completely ignore that immediately.
Yeah.
And then as far as religion, like a religion is just a story. So I don't spend any time really thinking much about it, actually.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think about religion much, really. And it's only recently that I've started thinking about spirituality, but that's just because of trying to go through self-improvement, and like we discussed, seeing the overlapping, all that different type of stuff. So reading about stoicism and reading about ikigai from Japan.
Right, ikigai.
And all that stuff kind of like overlaps with spirituality as well. So yeah, it's been interesting.
I think like I've been thinking a lot about faith recently, but the faith I'm talking about is like I have faith in myself that I can find a solution to any problem. And I'm not, and it's nothing to do with like angels or whatever. It's just like I have faith that I can find solutions to any problem.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's good to have like a healthy ego, right? Like you need some confidence in your own abilities, but you don't want to let it. You know, I like to think as well that, you know, I'm capable and like I'll figure stuff out, but then you don't want to let it balloon and you start thinking, oh, I'm so good, I'm better than other people.
I think one way to help myself with that is to believe that actually anybody can find solutions to any problem. Just that most people don't believe it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to think I'm better than them if they don't believe it, because they could just believe it one day and then they have it too.
Exactly.
So I just feel, that's why I feel excited for this year and for the future in general. I just feel really fucking good.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. But when I told the rich family that, they were like, "But why?" I was like, I just feel good about it.
Why would you feel?
And they were like, "What have you prepared?" And I was like, "I just feel good about it." And then they just laughed at me.
Wow. But then I think, that just says a lot about what their mindset is going into the year and life in general.
I thought they tried to control everything as much as possible. I think so.
And as well, it's like, I think if you're unhappy, you also don't want to see other people being really positive.
It's annoying.
Sometimes.
It's annoying, yeah.
If you're cynical, you don't want to be around that person who's like, yeah, life's great. You're just kind of like, fuck you, like the world's on fire, the world's at war, and all that kind of, what's there to look forward to. But that mindset is just like, you're just gonna be miserable.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so I just feel good for no reason.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool, man. Should we go eat?
Yeah, let's eat.
Sweet.
Let's see.